What's up, guys? You look at some of the things on this stat sheet here. 203 yards rushing, 17 of 30 passing. And then you look at some of these other things. 4 turnovers and 4 fumbles, 1 interception. And it can't wipe out. It doesn't wipe out the dramatic improve in third down. It doesn't wipe out the time of possession. As the offensive coordinator, it makes you sick, when your guys are in that position. And we did some good things, but the bad things that we did dramatically outweighed all of the good things that we set out to accomplish and did accomplish. At times there was we moved the ball well. Just a marked difference in the number of punts is it was good. But you add the punts up, and then you add the turnovers up, and what are you left with? And especially the turnover down in the red zone early in the game. The one late to put the defense in another bad spot. For our seniors, those are the guys that I feel for the most, the guys that are playing their hearts out. You look at some of the guys on the defensive side. You look at Darius Hamilton. You look at JPO. You look at some of the guys on our side. You look at Derek Nelson. You look at guys that are playing their hearts out, and something isn't right, obviously, in the ball security department, and it's preventing them from getting where they want to go. And that's hard to swallow. That's a really, really tough pill to swallow. And you can't go out there and carry the ball for them. You can't go out there and catch the ball or throw the ball for them. We got to do a better job. I have to do a better job of getting them the reps, more reps if need be. Okay, getting them the reps to put them in a position to be successful. You look at 385 yards and 5 turnovers. What happens if you don't? What happens if you don't? And that's I think the most painful part of this game. And my heart goes out to the seniors that are playing their tails off. I'm sorry to those guys, but you can't expect to win a game on the offensive side or the defensive side, and putting them in that position, and having it doesn't matter how many yards you have, how many trips to the red zone, how many passes you complete. It doesn't matter if you don't protect the ball. It's always going to come down to that.
It's an open competition at quarterback. What are you going to be looking for when you make that determination?
I think the thing that we're always looking for, you get asked about, style. You get asked about qualities that he has. We're looking for production and leadership. And Gio came in and did a nice job in the second half. He had a good week of practice. He's a selfless, conscientious kid. So when we go into tomorrow, Sunday, that's something that we'll discuss. We've kind of gotten some. I don't know that Zach Allen's game reps last week were a fair assessment of his abilities, but it's going to be an open competition. He did some good things. He did some good things. But we'll see tomorrow when we talk.
You mentioned the turnovers. Probably, I assume, just as tough to swallow as those 2 4th downs. What happened with snaps? What happened there?
He got jumpy. Got jumpy on 4th down. And you look at you go our plan to win over here on the wall. Play great defense and score points. Good. win the turnover and takeaway battle. Didn't do that, okay? And then when it comes back down to it, red zone, third down, and then you can throw fourth down when you're going forward into that. Win critical situations. Got jumpy. I mean, it's the best that I can give you, other than going and spending time and delving into the psychological aspects of what goes on in the minds of the guys that were out there on that field. So obviously unacceptable.
Drew, on the pick six, was that a bad read, or was it just a ball you shouldn't have thrown? Or
He made the right read. He was going the right place. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that ball was tipped. That ball was tipped by the defensive end. And the kid, to credit to the kid that picked it off at 24, I believe. He made a good play in man coverage. He fell off his man, and he made a play. And that comes at a very unfortunate time, And you look at what it did, I think, to the score differential at that point. Is that no? It's not. The kid made a good play. The ball was tipped. The defensive end, I'd argue the defensive end made that play, and the 24, I think, was the kid that picked it off, capitalized on it, and that's what you got to do to win.
did you feel kind of a little bit of a break on that? The fact that maybe it was more of a good play by them than a bad play by him?
I don't think that we'll ever give anybody a break on a turnover, for any, obviously is that one a little bit out of his control? Yes and no, sure. But in terms of his read, I give him a break on his read. He made the right read. He made the right throw. But you'll never accept turnovers from any fashion, from anybody, ever. Not if you want to win.
Is this a four-quarterback competition now? And if so, why is Laviano still part of that? And isn't Odin a realistic possibility given his upside?
That's a good question. That's me and Coach Ash. Something we wanted to talk about, I think, tomorrow, in terms of who's involved in that competition. Obviously, everyone's does things a little bit differently. You mentioned Tylen. Tylen's got a lot of youth, and how much youth are you willing to go and play the rest of the Big Ten schedule with? That's a question that you have to answer. Are you willing to accept that as youth? Because we all know that freshmen make mistakes, especially kids that it's October. He's 5 months removed from going to prom, so from that standpoint, that's something that's something you have to weigh. From all those guys, what can they do? What can they give us the best chance to win? So to answer that question, I don't know yet. I can tell you that probably later in the week.
Play devil's advocate just to that
Sure.
answer for a minute. If youth is that big a factor, why did he play at all this year? Because you obviously lost the year of eligibility no matter what.
I think for him, when we rolled him in there, and to be honest with you, in this program, Coach Ash has a great policy. We'll never burn a kid's red shirt without asking him, and sitting him down and making sure that he understands everything that goes into that. And we talked with Tylen and said, Tylen, there's some things I think that you can do in this game a few weeks back that can help us. Do you understand the consequences that go along with that? And he did. He's a great kid. But in terms of the guy that's going to be in the huddle, on the sideline and motivating those guys, that's, I think, the biggest thing with the youth that you have to, and the experience, and has he seen enough, defense and stuff like that? And probably the follow-up question is, can you manage that for him? And yes and no. Yes and no. That you can, from a game plan, what you've seen on film, and make adjustments, but you're inevitably at some point going to face something that you haven't practiced, and that's when experience kicks in. And youth is probably going to be your limiting factor. Thanks, guys.